I even have to say this, but if you live with other people, do your dishes. If you have a roommate, do your dishes. Not because I care actually about the dishes getting done. It's because your roommate doesn't stop talking about how you don't do the dishes. And then everyone suffers because now I have to listen to a story where the primary action is that nothing happened. I'm bored. Oh, you're not gonna believe this. My roommate today did nothing. Oh, my space. My space. And then I have to be like, oh, did you talk to them? And they're like, yeah, I sent a passive-aggressive text to my group chat with 8 other people. Why does nothing get done in my house? So you have to do the dishes. Because there's 2 victims when you don't. Your dumb roommate and me. Because I have to listen to this person complain. And I'm tired of it. So everyone do their dishes. And if you have a roommate that doesn't do their dishes and you're like, maybe I should tell people, you should take it to your grave. Or move in months if you can find an affordable place. Maybe that's harder. Don't move. But, okay?
Hi, welcome back to This African Perspective. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to be checking out videos about our roommates and living with roommates, okay? You know the reason why people have roommates. If they had a choice, people wouldn't have roommates, okay? Like, especially when you're having roommates with strangers. I know some people do it by choice because they want to save more money, while some actually just, need support when it comes to paying those bills and paying that rent. A lot of the videos we're going to be watching is actually people complaining about their roommates and being uncomfortable because that's what comes with it. So we're going to be checking out the negative part of having a roommate. Okay, it does have its positives, but majority of the time when you're living with strangers, of course, whoever you're living with, even if it's your family, you're gonna not really, some days you would be so unhappy and really hate the fact that you're living with them. You could end up with someone who is making your life so uncomfortable to the extent that you are ready to just end it all. So we're gonna be checking this out, but before we get right into this video, please make sure you click the like button. It helps with the algorithm and I appreciate that so much. Let's get right into it.
See the kitchen? I'll show you the kitchen. This is the current state. Sink is always full. Yeah, literally none of these are my stuff. Most of the time there'll be like still water in there, so like this is kind of clean, not gonna lie. You see these are rotting on the side because it's been here so long. Also, nothing in this kitchen is mine. That spot's empty because my stuff's supposed to go on there. Yeah, none of those boxes are mine either. This is how the table looks like, and that's how the floors look like. I wiped everything down when I first moved in, and quickly realized that either I become a Cinderella or I just give it up. And the fridge, this is what it looked like when I moved in. Sides are like this. And that's the freezer. I don't use this fridge, by the way. If you're asking why I'm not even trying to clean it, these people have been living here for 3 years, so I'm like coming into this kind of a mess. But it's kind of a 2 versus 1 situation, so I can't really do much. So at this point, I just gave up and I was like, okay, let me just use my own kitchen in my room. Like, fuck this. So I mentioned this before, but I keep all my dishes in here, and then I'll wait till either the sink is like relatively empty or I'll just wash it in the bathroom. Whatever comes first. Hopefully that clears things up a bit. And honestly, with this kind of a rent, I'll live with it.
And if people want to show out of me, baby, it's finna be a whole cinema. On my soul, baby, it's finna be a whole cinema. Because y'all know, why did I have a roommate, right? It's August 20th. She ain't been here since July 20th. She hasn't paid me any money. She owes me over $700. I texted her yesterday to ask her when she's going to give it to me. She doesn't reply. I call her today. I text her again. She texts me and says, why would I respond to you if I haven't yet? I read your message, obviously, so why would I respond? Starts to talking out the side of her neck. Okay, baby, I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. So then she starts proceeding to talk to me out the side of her neck continuously, telling me that it's she's sorry that I can't afford my bills and Mind y'all, TikTok, the bills are paid. Mind you, TikTok, the bills are paid, baby. I never needed help. This was living in a roach infested house, sleeping in a living room with somebody's daughter, okay, and was crying to me about how she had nowhere for her and her son to go. So I invited her to my 3-bedroom because I live by myself in my 3-bedroom that I've lived in for 3 years. So baby's not going anywhere unless I want to. Yeah, all of that. But yeah, she said she was gonna pull up. She was about to bring the police. She called me a lot of names. Which I'm gonna get to after all of this stuff goes down. I'm gonna make a whole video and give y'all the whole 10-9 rundown. But for right now, baby, I'm finna go charge my phone so I can make sure that I'm live when the police pull up so I can show y'all how I'm finna dub this lady. Cause you don't win when it comes to me. You don't win when it comes to me. You don't win when it comes to me. Nobody wins when it comes to me. So stop trying to go against me because you're not gonna win. So yeah, I'm finna show you better than I can tell you. So I hope when the police get here, they know what they're talking about. Yeah.
And if we being completely honest, that's why a lot of parents cannot get ahead, because y'all mean to y'all children. Y'all think because your child is at home and you are letting them stay with you that you're doing them such a favor, and you're not. Y'all are constantly emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, and spiritually abusive to your children. And a lot of y'all be sitting around wondering why life kicking your ass. You can't treat kids bad and expect life to treat you good. But let me also say this. If you are struggling or anything of that nature, you ain't got no business having kids. Because as soon as you have a kid, it shows how you feel about the struggles that you're enduring, because you take it out on your children. My daughter 13. When I tell y'all, tell that girl every day how beautiful she is, it's nothing that she can't have. She a great kid. Anything I go through in life ain't got shit to do with that baby. Nothing. Y'all better tighten the fuck up.
I know that you hate me. Now my life is sweet like cinnamon, like a fucking dream I'm living it.
So let's see what she said. She said, "Thank you very much for love and kindness. I am returning everything I borrowed from you all. I do not want to be the talk of town, just because you all helped me. Thanks, Jessica. Nerd. And never, ever, never, oh, sit on my bed. Just never." Oh my God. Like, what is bringing all this? Okay, I think this is the things she actually, like, returned. But, girl, it's not necessary. Like, this girl is really very, very childish. Like, this is so childish, because why are you returning things we got for you? Like, you just want to help.
7 a.m. here in New York City. Let's try to make something in my makeshift kitchen for the first time. I'll be making some pizza bread and some eggs. Okay, this is not working, so I have to use my hand. So there are a lot of questions about my living situation in my previous videos. Oh. Thought I would clarify that a little bit more. Ooh. So I do understand the confusion because it is a very quick overview. So this house is a standard 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment, but it's flexed into 3, so there's 3 people living here. It also does have a kitchen and a bathroom, which I did mention in the video, but this place is kind of a mess. It's a super old building, so imagine having like a gas station as your bathroom. But on top of that, my roommates who've been here for like 4 years, they have accumulated some filth in those spaces, unfortunately. And that is the reason why I haven't cooked here, because I don't know where to do my dishes because the kitchen sink is full at all times. I lived with roommates my whole life since college. If you didn't know, I'm 28, so I've been through many roommates by now. At one point, I was living with 7 people in one house, so I'm not new to this game, right? I lived in many different circumstances, many different environments, many different backgrounds. But this is not a new problem for me. And one thing I learned from doing that is that you cannot change a person, right? Their habits, how they live their life, it's not something that you can change as just a roommate. You know, there are people who live with their partners for like 30, 40 years and still argue about like who's cleaning what. So what power do I have over these people who I've been here for like a couple months? I'm not gonna fight that losing game, right? It's my best option. Well, I have lived in a place where there is no bathroom and no kitchen. Kind of like a SRO, but it was a basement with a separate entrance and an exit. You know, I made it work there, so I thought, why don't I just do that here? And I knew that this was gonna be a situation coming in here because I toured the room before I moved in. I saw everything and I expected it to be like this. Not really that fixated up on it. So yeah, the conclusion is I do have a bathroom and a kitchen. Decided that it would be the most beneficial for me to just detach my own room and make it into kind of an SRO situation. When I do need to use the bathroom, which I have been, I do use it. It's usually like when I'm brushing my teeth or like if the bathroom's like pee or something. But it's not that big of a deal. Thought I could fit in 3, but 8 minutes. So that should answer most of the related questions that I was seeing. That's the situation right now. Okay, I think it's good. Look at this. It's perfect. Wow. And there's my breakfast. Okay, so for cleaning up, I use this little device just to pick up like eraser booger, but real quick, and then just wipe it with the reusable cloth. It's just, I accumulate it and wait till there's a room in the sink, or I'll just do it in the bathroom.
Most of the time, issues that come with living with roommates usually lies around hygiene. Like some people do not really have good hygiene, so they struggle. Like when they live with other people, they don't care. And I think part of the reason is when you live with someone, let's say you do have a bad hygiene, like if you're the kind of person who'd be like, oh, I'm sharing this space with someone and I don't really want to make them uncomfortable. So I'm just gonna try, even if I don't want to do it or I'm not used to being clean, let me just try to clean up this place and leave it so they can, use it, because when you're done using something, at least can you clean it up so the other person can use it, because you're not the only one in that space. But it's like some people are just so nonchalant, like they really do not care how other people feel. They only care about themselves, and they can just live in dirt, like in a really really dirty unhygienic environment. And so many times that I've heard complaints, people being sad, people complain about their roommates, I've always mostly heard about hygiene the most. Like they be like, this person is so dirty, they are not clean, they don't clean up the space. If you're staying with someone who cares about cleaning up a place, or at least having it be in a normal way, then you're gonna have a problem.
Alright, you may be wondering why I got all this shit in the back of me. But just stay tuned for this story time if you enjoy fake bitches being revealed, family drama, and friend fallouts. Or if you just like some tea like me. But I'm gonna have to give y'all the whole rundown. This is basically a story time of how I moved into a friend at the time's house, and the shit just it bomb fired really quickly. Which explains why all my shit is in my car instead of the house. So in a lot of words, I really want to know what y'all think about this. For starters, I had met this girl in high school. We went to high school together and we were in track together. I knew her about a year or two before we moved in together, or before I moved in her mother house. But we was never everyday friends. We was always like, we would talk every now and then over the phone. We never really hung out. We started to hang out more prior to me end up moving with her. To make a long story short, I had went through some stuff with my family. As a lot of y'all know, a lot of y'all don't know, my mother is like a narcissist. So a lot of shit was really fucked up, you know? I'm 18 at the time, and I had just graduated, and I was going through like a whole living mix-up where I was trying to figure out where I was going to go because my mother purposely abandoned me and left my ass. So I'm 18 years old, new to the world, my first year being an adult, and I had to find somewhere to stay. And with us had been around each other more than usual, I end up asking her, like, you think your mother be cool with me staying in your house or whatever, until I found somewhere to go. Now, mind y'all, I did not plan to be here for a long time. This had to be like the end of June, I want to say. And she was supposed to go off to college in August. Mind y'all, at the time, I did not have a whip. I didn't have no car. And I planned to leave in August when she went to college. So I was going to get my apartment instead of getting a car first and go to college. And get my apartment in August. So anyways, her mother agreed that I could stay there for the amount of time needed, and that was fine. And she just asked me what was my plan. I explained to her I plan on getting an apartment. I don't plan on being here for a long time, because just as much as nobody want to share their space for a long time, don't nobody want to be in nobody else's space for a long time either. Now, everything started off cool. Like, whatever the mother cooked, we could eat. Like, they always broke down groceries. That was no problem. I can't say, like, my first, like, me staying in the house, I was always one of them type of people, like, y'all, if I use some dishes, or I use a bowl or a plate or a spoon, I would clean out my dishes or whatever, right? And me being me, like, since they had let me stay in at the time, she wasn't even asking for no money. I'm like, okay, if it's dishes in the sink, I'm going to wash them or whatever, right? So at this point, I'm cleaning up after other people. It's 3 of them in the house, it's 1 of me. I quickly noticed that me cleaning up became like, oh, damn, we got somebody else to clean up, so we don't have to clean up. Meaning I quickly pushed away from cleaning up, because fuck no, where they do that shit at? That's lazy as hell. And I feel like it's only 1 of me, so I'm not making as much as mess as 3 people. And then I really noticed more so, like, the mother did a lot more of the cleaning than, you know, the siblings. That seemed to be like their agreement, and when it got too much, maybe, you know, they pitched in. Now, I was used to being with my sister, My homegirl, I consider her my sister. So my whole thing, like, when dishes start to get messy and shit, I feel like if you seen me wash the dishes last time, that means you should wash the dishes. You shouldn't expect somebody to keep going to the sink and washing fucking dishes. If somebody cleaned up the bathroom last time, you should take initiative and be like, damn, let me clean the bathroom the next time. Y'all, I'm talking about, I would fucking be having work for 6 days in a row and only 1 day off in between and have to go back to work. And the girl I was staying with, she would be off for like multiple days at a time. And if you ask me, I think she was part-time because she only would be working like 5 to 4 hours. Meanwhile, I'm working 8-hour shifts. I'm talking about would be home for multiple days at a time because I decided to pitch in and clean and help clean up, which I don't got to do. It's not even my residence. I'm a guest, if anything. Motherfuckers start to just not clean up at all. Like, oh yeah, she's going to clean up. I'm talking about one day I came from work. Everybody had been home all day this day. At this point, it's 4 people in the house. And I get home, I'm from work, I'm so fucking tired, my job drains me. I get in the house, and motherfuckers like, oh, can you wash the dishes? And bitch, you ain't even had work today. Why you ain't washed the motherfucking dishes? Mind you, I thought that shit to myself, and I feel like at the time I was playing the role, like, you know what? I just washed the dishes, so a motherfucker can't say I never did nothing they asked me to do. Mind you, I'm also the last person who washed the dishes. So, with that being said, with all of that shit happening, I quickly moved away from cleaning up. Because I see motherfuckers think that it's the cleanup crew, that I'm a maid, or it's something like that going on. And I quickly began to voice myself with some text messages. Like, it's extremely too much cleaning up. You don't think that it's a problem that you don't go half on cleaning up. Because I quickly began to notice that if nobody else cleans up in the house, she was responsible for cleaning. So she started to try to do me how they was doing her ass. But anyways, like I said, it was no real big problems except for the cleaning up. It was extremely too much fucking cleaning up. It was always some fucking cleaning to do up in it. It was because nobody cleaned up after themselves. Motherfuckers wait until everything piles up and then they decided they was going to clean. And I wasn't even raised like that. I don't even understand. Like, I had 3 siblings and my mother, you know? Well, it's 3 of us and my mother. We never even did that much fucking cleaning. So to further the story, she ends off leaving for college. Mind you, I had decided that, like, dang, because everybody was talking to, they was like, you gonna need your car, because I wanted to move out of state. They was like, you gonna need your car if you want to move out of state and stuff like that, because you're gonna be on your own, you young, like, you by yourself, you don't want to move nowhere, and you don't have no transportation. Also, you don't want to be responsible for rent and bills and have to pay for transportation. So I took that up with her, and I guess she followed through with her mother, and it was fine. I could still stay there for further more time than August, right? Now, I'm also going to throw this in a story. So, while I'm staying at this person's house that's supposed to be my friend from high school, we ran track together. At this point, we both graduated the summertime. Mind you, I just came from a whole fucked up situation. Before my mother told me, like, I couldn't be there, I also went to go stay with her father, and he was a fucking narcissist. That's a whole nother story. We can get into that on YouTube. I up and left his residence and left all my shit. Because I said, fuck it, I'm not going back. I don't want to be treated like that. Therefore, I barely had anything. I only had, like, the stuff I came with in my suitcase. I hadn't been working for a month after graduation because I was just enjoying my time. But I had to stack my money back up since now I'm by myself. Like, you know how this shit go, y'all. And I had been traveling, not even thinking, like, okay, at the time I thought I was going back to be with my people, just at least to get my stuff or stack more over there. Like, you know, even though I didn't like being there. But I had to sacrifice and I ended up just having to leave everything. With all of that being said, y'all, I did not have a transportation at the time. I did not have a car. This girl had a whip. She did not offer me no rides to work. I had to ask her, like, can you take me to work? And she'd be like, yeah, I could take you. You think you could pick me up? And mind you, like, you could tell, a real friend could tell, like, I'm in the middle of, like, a midlife crisis damn near. Like, you know? Mind y'all, before all of this shit happened, I was one of the friends, like, if I got it, I got you. Like, I gave this bitch a fucking graduation dress. She didn't have no graduation dress. Mind you, that's nothing to me, because if I got it, you my friend, you my bitch. Like, it ain't nothing with us. But all of that to say, every opportunity, I feel like I was being shown, like, you know? While I'm peeping all of this, I decided not to really say nothing. More so survival mode. Like, I feel like you can't tell no bitch you're not being real. Or you're not doing this good enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? You either got it or you don't. Because I got a sister that I don't have to check or tell her, oh, you should do this out of loyalty or this, that. Fuck no. And when it comes to the cleaning up part, y'all, it was one day, I had already washed the dishes before. And I had told her, like, you know, some dishes in there. You plan on grabbing them because, you know, basically I'm not. And she told me, like, yeah, girl, I'll wash the dishes for you. She said, I'll wash the dishes once I get back from wherever I'm going. First of all, who the fuck leaves the house with the house not clean? I didn't even grow up like that. But you know what? It's not my, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, all right. So mind you, at the time, I'm new. Like, I don't even know her mother don't even play dishes sitting in the sink, which is really most people's expectations for their home. Especially older, because her mother's not young. She's not a young, a young fish. So I haven't really had this much interaction at the time of staying in the residence with her mother, really. Like, I don't really know her mother like that. But her mother says, yeah, she comes to the kitchen while I'm in the kitchen. She's like, yeah, somebody needs to wash these dishes. Mind you, in my head, I'm like, why is she saying somebody? Like, you know what I'm saying? So I immediately text my friend, like, yeah, your mother's complaining about the dishes, so, when you get home, like, let her know you're gonna wash the dishes, like, So I guess her mother had words with her behind my back, or, like, something I didn't know about, and was basically saying, like, dishes sitting in the sink, and she needs somebody to wash the dishes now, and da-da-da-da. And she kept it cool with me, but she explained that to, her daughter. I then receive a fat-ass paragraph of her saying, if my mother tell you to do something, do it. I don't care if it's scrub the floor. Don't disrespect her. She said something. Which means that even what her mother told her could have been exaggerated, but I don't know. She claimed through text message her mother asked me to do it, and I never did it. But my whole thing is, if you told me out your mouth you was gonna do it, then you should have got that shit done, and you should explain to your mother you said you were gonna do it before you left. And your mother don't even play that shit, so that has nothing to do with me. Furthermore,
when you have a friend that has a roommate, just get prepared, because every single time the conversation is mostly going to be about the roommate. I promise you, the conversation is always going to be that, because every time they're getting frustrated, every time they're getting annoyed. So that is why by yourself is definitely, it brings so much sanity and peace, because you can't be fighting with yourself. Like, you're going to keep a place how you would like it to be. One advice I'm going to give you is, if you do have a friend, right, and you really treasure that friendship and you really want to keep that person as a friend, you don't want that friendship to actually be destroyed by any means, you want to respect your boundaries, just don't even try to stay as roommates, because there is no way. It's going to be so difficult. When I tell you, the chances are so thin for you to live together with your friend and be roommates in a house where you guys sign a lease, do whatever. And you told me that that friendship at the end of the day still stayed and stand firm without a problem. There's always, usually people always end up, that friendship always end up getting divided, getting broken because of that. So don't even try it. You've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching this video to the very end. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here and you're watching me for the very first time. I will see you on the next one. Bye.